Hello everybody, this is Sharonda and this is my podcast, Spiritual Sense. Today is Tuesday, which is February, I want to say it's the 22nd. And in this podcast, I discuss topics in regards to the occult, paranormal, supernatural. I talk on topics such as curses, hauntings, out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, angels, demons, spirit guides. And I also incorporate a daily tarot card reading into this podcast as well. Now, before I proceed, I'd like to state that this podcast is for entertainment purposes. That means you come here because you have an interest in the occult as myself, and I think many people do, more so than they let people on to know. And if it just so happened to correlate or coincide with what you're dealing with, they may be by chance or even by happenstance. I don't go snooping, probing, and prying into no one's personal life or personal affairs and then presenting it here, okay? So oftentimes when you notice the cycle of life, in terms of serendipity and synchronicity, some things happen by chance or even by happenstance, okay? In life. So I'm going to proceed with the daily reading for today. I'm working with my Psychic Tarot deck cards, and so I'm spraying my area, which is some Florida water that I use. I find Florida water. I spoke on a episode in regards to spiritual communication tools, and I mentioned about Florida water. Florida water is a type of perfume or cologne that you can wear. It does have some spiritual connotations to it in regards to spirit work. Many people use Florida water in terms of spirit work. You can actually use Florida water to cleanse with. You can drop some in your bath, or you can wear it as a fragrance. It does have a very light, pleasant fragrance. It doesn't cost that much money. And so when you begin to get off into, using these different products and, to do your spirit work, what I do is I use Florida water, some of the original Florida water in my homemade Florida water. So I home make my own Florida water. I also use it as a floor wash as well, and you would notice how when you consistently use the Florida water as a floor wash, it would alleviate a lot of negative energy out of your space. Like, it literally works, but you have to be consistent in using the Florida water, okay? I find that it is when it's your own, when you make Florida water as your own, like your own Florida water, it is very helpful in when you make it yourself, okay? All right, so we're going to proceed with the reading for today. So let me spread out my cards. And for those who are listening in or will be listening in, I use several different tarot card spreads when I do my tarot card readings. The one that I use the most is the Celtic Cross, which is a 10-card spread. You have 6 cards that's in the form of a cross, and then you have the 4 additional cards. Card 1 is on this situation, person, or some type of insider clarity. Card 2 is the barrier or the hindrance. Card 3 is what's above this situation or where you're trying to attain. Card 4 is the root of the issue or the reason. Card 5 is the near past of what's occurring. Card 6 is the near future or what's occurring. Card 7, Card 7 is the attitude. Card 8 is what's physically surrounding or what you sense. Card 9 is hopes, fears, and dreams. And card 10 is the outcome. There's times where if I need a little bit more clarity in regards to the reading, I may pull additional cards for more clarity or insight on the reading. And that being with my angel cards or my moonology cards, which I consider to be supporting decks. These cards also can be used in regards to a 1, 2, 3, 4, or even a 5 card spread. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, in cases where you have like a 1 card that may be a question that you're fuzzy about, you may pull out 1 card. Or 2 cards. You may want to know something in regards to today versus yesterday. Okay, 2 cards. Or you may want to know something in regards to the past, what's occurring, and what may occur. That may be a 3 card. And vice versa. So, 4 card, 5 card, however that choose to be. Okay? So, let me proceed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So give me just a moment. Okay, so laying of the cards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So card 1, this reading I feel like is on awareness. And I actually, as I was laying the card, when I lay my cards, I lay them face down. So I don't know what I'm pulling. I don't have my cards tagged, even though some of them have gotten sticky in the midst of me dropping, something on them or whatever. But I don't remember which cards is what. It's the point. And I got an inclination prior to flipping the first card what this reading is in regards to, okay? So I'm going to proceed, but it's awareness. I feel like this reading, before I proceed to flip any other cards, I feel like this reading is for somebody out there or some individuals out there who's looking to increase their insight, capability, open their third eye to acquire a higher knowledge and a higher sensibility. Is what I feel like this reading is in regards to. Like the ability to know, like he will put in your eye when somebody about to knock on the door without you even seeing them. With your physical eye. Or when a car is driving by and you're in your house, he will show it to you in your brain, and then you will see it. If you go to the door and look out, okay, there's the car that he was showing me. That type of thing. Okay. I feel like this is a skill. If you ask him for it, you will acquire that skill. But you don't want to mishandle that skill. It's the point. You want to use it for protection. You want to use it in a good manner. You don't want to mishandle that power. Okay? Card 2. Firm foundation. This is what the obstacle is, or the hindrance. I feel as though this is something that they don't want everybody to know. Like everybody, and like I said, when I state my disclaimer, it's for entertainment purposes. Everybody doesn't need to know this, and I feel like this is why you have a lot of confusion and psychology that comes into place, because this doesn't need to get into the ears of everybody, because they will begin to mishandle and misuse that power. Okay? It's not intended for you to use it in a sense, to harm the next individual. No. Okay, so card 3, what we're trying to attain, I have the Destiny card. I feel like right now, there is a coming together of a lot of those individuals who have that gift or that ability. It's a gift that is afforded to you when you have paid a price. And when I mean by paid a price, like when God, you have pretty much just released and let everything go. And once you have done that, God will step in and he will guide you. He will. And he would do it by way of your riches. I do favor, well, there's a number of riches out there. I mean, there's many gods and goddesses out there. But the 4 that I favor are Bastet or Bashet, Yemaya, Shango, and Osiris. Out of the combination of those 4 riches, they will provide you with infinite knowledge, wisdom, capability, and understanding. The ability to take information and apply it to everyday practices, and also open up knowledge, spiritual knowledge, to see it on a higher sensibility. Ask God for prompt understanding and clarity as to what that is that he presents to you. Card 4, the root of the issue of victory and success. So I feel as though a lot of women, as well as, women in perhaps in ministry, or women that are, that have reached out. And not only just women. I mean, I mentioned women, but it has women on the card is what I'm getting at. That does not necessarily applicable, because anyone can be a psychic. But I think once you have matured in the spirit, which may take some years, he will open the things up to you, like the seals will be unbroken or unleashed. And I feel as though the root of the issue of victory and success. So I feel as though when all else has failed and you have fell down, this is how he will give you that understanding and that clarity, by way of success or lack thereof. Excuse me. So this is what he uses in order to show you how things happen in life as such. Card 5, rejoice and celebration. So, you would see things monumental. You would see things brighter. You would see things on a bigger scale. It would be astronomical, is what that is. And that's to let you know favor. This is how he would present things to you by way of favor. So you would know exactly what that is, and you'll be able to detect and recognize it promptly as to what that is. Card 6, spiritual strength. So people would know that this is bound by spirit, meaning favor, despite of. Even though everything around me may be falling apart and this, that, and another, but despite of, I will still use whom I will and whom I may to spread a message. And this is why, they use the vibrance and the extravagance as such to make people aware as to what that is. Despite whatever proper belief is, I will use whom I will and whom I may to spread a message. Card 7. Card 7 is going to be what? The attitude. Financial and material changes. So, oftentimes when you get this epiphany, when you get this awareness, when you get this higher sensibility and knowledge, you would know who is spiritually led versus who is not. Like, you will begin to see it. You will begin to know what that is. Is this somebody pulling my leg? Is this somebody playing on my intellect? What exactly is this? And you would know what that is. You would know what that is. God will use whom he will and whom he may to spread a message. And I think right now, with this infinite thirst and infinite knowledge, and this awareness, this third eye opening, and this creativity and as such, and the ability to open and expand your horizon to think on genius level. Because what we're going to begin to find out is many people are walking geniuses. And oftentimes their image is betrayed to the contrary of what popular belief may be. So this is why we have to exaggerate things and make it vibrant to bring awareness to favor, is what that is. Card 8, suffering in silence. So this is what's surrounding. So I feel like a lot of people who are not aware, it lets me know that many people who are not aware of that don't understand it. This is what we have surrounding us. It says, so this is why we have to tag certain individuals who are aware versus those who are not. Because a lot of times we are surrounded by people who think to the contrary or who don't understand. So this is why we have to let people know this is what this is. This is God in the physical, sitting right here in everyday practices, and you will begin to see God in people, and you will begin to know when a situation is a message by way of God, whether it be unfavorable or favorable. But we want to hope for the best. Okay? And so I think, a lot of people, speak against prophecy. You may have a lot of people speak against, Ouija boards, tarot cards, psychic, fortune telling, and things of that nature. And basically what that is when a person feels as though you know something on them or you got something on them, they would feel like as though you are a threat, like you could do something to them with that information. So what we're coming to know is provide these people with some sense of solace and security to where they don't feel judged, shamed, or embarrassed about whatever the case may be. So this is why when I do my tarot card reading, I have to always state this is for entertainment purposes. That means I am not purposefully trying to demean nobody or put anybody's business out there, because it's really none of my concerns unless I am spiritually led, like if I'm constant, and this is how I know it's spiritual. This is how you will know it's spiritual, because this is the test. He will have you to be consistently thinking about or somebody on your spirit that you really could care less about. I mean, it's not that you care less about them. I like to rephrase that. It's not that you care less about them, but you don't have a true interest in. Like, it's nothing that you really paid much attention to before. It's the point. And there's something significant about this situation. So card 9, hopes, fears, and dreams card. So I have the triumphant card turned in the upside down position. I feel as though this information is coming by way of fallen angels, is what I feel. I mentioned that angels and demons are one and the same. Oppositional forces. That's what I feel. Opposing forces, oppositional forces is what that is. And when you summons them into this reality, into this time and space, this physical sense of it all, they become very inquisitive and they want to know, because as I mentioned, God has all different types in his kingdom. In this sense of the matter, which tells on a higher, bigger, unseen sense of the matter. So you would know when you by way of your astrology and the cyclings and things of that nature, when that time and space is going to manifest in this time and space. He will give you alertness and awareness. He will. And oftentimes he will alert you by way of some of the most subtle things. It could be by way of, some physical ailments that you may be presented with. Some mental concerns you may be presented with. You'll begin to take note in your behavior at certain times. This is him alerting you about the cycles of what's happening in that spirit versus, this time and space. And you would know when they are thirsty. And that could vary. And when I say thirsty, I'm saying thirsty and hungry unfavorably, as well as favorably. Like if they're looking to, kill, steal, or destroy, or they're looking to alert you and acknowledge you and to give you clarity and understanding of how this time and space works versus that one. All of them are not on the same path, and I think they have the ability to go back and forth, and they can be restored, I feel, if they are quote unquote a demonic spirit. I do feel as though they can be restored. They can. I haven't got so much clarity on that, but it did let me know that. So when he wants me to know a little bit more about that, then I present that information. But I do get visited, and I get these images, and I go through these phases, and he provides me clarity on a lot of things. Okay. So we're going to proceed with card 10, recognition and reward. This is the outcome. So I feel as though they want to know who's able to see them. They want to know who's able to know. Because many of times they will manifest in our time and our space. And people typically, once the eyes have been engaged and in tune, you will know them and you can see it. You will understand that. That is exactly what that is. You will know when it's spiritually manifestation. And that could be by way of angelic or by way of demonic. As I mentioned, I do believe that, the Christ agenda or the storyline in regards to Christ as it is described in the text happens on a day-to-day basis. I believe it happens in all walks of the life of the matter. And you will begin to understand spirits and how spirits work and how that time and space are manifesting to this time and space. So I had a conversation and I'm closing out this tarot card reading. So like I said, I feel as though that is in regards to, a lot of coming together with women that are in ministry, women that are psychically or intuitively inclined. Okay. So let me proceed. So I had an inclination that I had mentioned to my mother, my family member, in regards to the things that has been revealed to me. Now, many people may argue my thought process of how I feel and things of that nature. That's fine. I'm not here to argue with anybody, but I do feel as though we are in a spiritual warfare. I do believe that time and space manifests into this time and space. I feel that way. And as I mentioned to her, I said the past and the present, the past and the future sits right here in the present. All you have to do is just sit back, take a look, and God will enlighten you. So it was, it was a couple of months ago. I was sitting here in my living room, and it was a sunny day, to be honest with you. And out of the blue, it began to what? Thunderstorm. Out of nowhere. As if, it was about to rain. And as I'm sitting there listening to the thunderstorm, I'm thinking to myself, this sounds like an amphitheater. Like, this does not sound like a normal thunderstorm. And I began to take note of several bouts of rain during that time that to me did not seem real to me. And that's why I began to realize, are they able to tap into specific places? Because of course we know that you could be driving, you could be on the south side and you could drive to the west side or the north side or whatever, and you driving out of one phase of rain into a dry sun of rain. I mean, we all have experienced that, but this is totally different from that. To me, it appeared as though it was an amphitheater. Like I felt as though I was in an amphitheater, like a Colosseum type of amphitheater, like how you see in those, old Greek mythology, Roman Catholic type of movies and settings. And it's kind of like words just can't explain it. And instantly I thought to myself, okay, is this some type of studio production that is occurring around close by? Or is this that time and space manifesting into now? I don't know. I can't say. I think that's why, you have the term of UFOs that come into place where, unidentified flying objects. Well, you have unidentified things. It's unidentified to you because you can't necessarily pinpoint what that is. Okay, so I can't say that it's artificial, but I can't say that it was quote unquote God either. So we would define that as unclassified or unidentified, to be honest with you, because I couldn't say one way or another what it was. But to me, it appeared as though that it was a different time and space manifesting into this time and space. I don't have a background in meteorology or climate and things of that nature, so I can't speak in depth on those topics. But somehow I felt as though, even if it is man related or man manipulated, it's still being done under the guidance of a spirit. That's the only thing I could put it as. So even though we, may separate the physical sense of the matter to the spiritual sense of the matter, or science and logic versus spiritual, ultimately they go hand in hand at some form of fashion. Okay? So I am going to close out this podcast today, but I do think I'm going to do a episode after I, close out this episode on UFOs. Unidentified flying objects or things. Okay, so I do thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.